Good afternoon, students. We are going to see trees in data structures. I am Dr. Akila from Department of Computer Science, School of Computing Science, Wales University. So, we know that linear data structure we have seen already, and we have seen that linear data structure is going to have continuous, and here we are going to see the nonlinear data structure, which is hierarchical structure. So, one data, that is tree in trees, one data item will be connected to more items. So, we have this course outline where we are going to see the definition of trees, the terminologies what we have, and the representation, the operations, the most commonly used operations, implementation, application and types of trees. So, first we have to know what is a tree. Trees in data structures. So, it is a nonlinear data structure, as I already mentioned you, it is a nonlinear data structure. So, that means that it is hierarchical in structure, which has one data node connected to more than one element. So, tree is defined as a finite set of one or more nodes, such that there is a special node called as a root. We will see the structure in the forthcoming slides. The remaining nodes are divided into disjoint set, that is, it's called as subtrees, and each of the set T1, T2, Tn is called as a subtree of the root. Trees does not allow to hold empty node. That means that you cannot tell that if there is no node in a thing, it is called as a tree. So, it should have minimum at least one. So, this is an example where I have the organizational structure of an company. So, we just have here the chairman. There will be one chairman who's this is called as the this is the root. We have the chairman as this is the root, and we have branches from there. This is all vice president for sales, vice president marketing, vice president purchase are all subtrees, where it has again branches like in the sales I have a manager, one manager, and under him I have deputy manager, one deputy manager. So, you can see in this case of the vice president purchase, I have a manager, under him I have two deputy managers. So, you can have these are all, I have deputy manager 1 and deputy manager 2, these all these are called as nodes, and we have different terminologies we will see. So, this is another example I have for a tree where I have all the nodes as alphabets. Now, we see the different terminologies available in trees. So, the first one is the root. So, when we have this example, which is the root over here is the foremost, that is the topmost one, which is available in the tree is called as the root. So, this A is the root available in this particular example. Now, the next terminology we have is the leaf node. What is leaf node? Actually, it is the same thing how we have a tree, we have leaf at the end of the branches. So, the same way, whichever node is available at the bottommost, which does not have any child, that is called as a leaf. So, you can see here there are these are the child in here, these are the leaf nodes available here, K, L, M, N, O, P, all these are leaf nodes available in this particular example. Then ancestors, what does mean by ancestors? That is, when I just go for any particular, say for example, I have this A, K, when I take it, who are all the ancestors of it? A, then B and then E. How can I reach from the root node till the node whatever I am specifying, it's called as those nodes are called as ancestors of that particular node. Say for example, one more example we can take, what are the ancestors of node N? It is A, D, J, and that is what these three are, the A, D and J are the ancestors for N. So, this is how we can find the ancestors. Then siblings, so this is again what we have normally. So, when I go for siblings, so it will be having on the same level when I just go for, that is called as a sibling. Say for example, who is having the same parent. Say when I go for B and C and D all have the same parent A. So, these all three B, C, D are all siblings. When I go for this, say for example in the next level, E, F, G, H I have, E, F have the parent B and G, H, I have the parent C. So, I can call E and B as sibling, but E, F, G I cannot call it as a sibling because they have different parent. So, this is what we call it as a sibling. Next level, how we have the level, what is the level, and we count it. The topmost, the root will be in the level 1, and whichever is that below that you will be having increasing by one level at a time. So the next level will be there is the next nodes which are all at the next level will be at the level 2, level 3 and level 4. So this particular tree, example tree, has 4 levels. Level 1 which has the root, level 2, level 3 and level 4 has the leaf nodes what we have seen. Then the depth, what is the depth? The maximum number of level that we have. So in the previous example, previous slide, we saw that there are 4 levels. So this particular example has the level as 4 because level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4. So we have the depth of the tree as 4. When we go for the next terminology, internal nodes, what are all the internal nodes? There is a node with the children is called as a internal node. So that is whichever is, except this leaf node, whichever is there, it's called as the internal nodes. So in this particular example, including the root, it's called as the internal node. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, all these are internal nodes. The next terminology we have is external nodes. So in this external node, the node with is not having any child, it is called as the external node. So here in this particular example, so all these are called as external nodes, K, L, M, N, O, P. Now we have to represent the trees. So for that we have two methods. There is two ways. One is using a list representation and one more is linked list representation. So let us first check out how to do with list representation. So here I have an example. I have a tree with actually 7 nodes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, sorry 8 nodes. So we have this 8 nodes which will be represented in this list representation. So how I am going to do, the topmost root node will come, which will have the next representation. Out of that we have 3 child, so it will all be separated by commas. So here you can see B, C and D all separated by commas. That is what that there. Then the next child, there is a B's child, will be represented within again brackets and it will be separated by commas. So B has the child E and F. So the children E, F will come here under B. And then C has only one child, so it will come under C. Then D again have one child, so that comes under. So it will be having using the brackets, you just specify the list items and the same the siblings will be separated by comma. This is the linked list representation of trees where I have the topmost root node. It's coming as the first list of item as a first node, and then from there we have already seen that this linked list representation has 2 parts. One is the data part and the link part. So the some of the nodes will have the link part as the link of the next node and will have the data part the actual element, and some of the nodes will have the link to the next level of, there is the next child. So it will be having, so here you can see that A has a child B, C and D, and here it specifies that it does not have any more children. So it will be specified as 0, that there is no link. Then again here you can see that B has a child E and F, so it is represented like here, and after F I do not have any nodes, so it is represented by the link part as 0. So like that we can represent using a linked list representation. Next, what are all the operations we have with tree? So the first one is create. So there are things which we will be getting confused in this particular operations. Actually when you go for other linked list, other data structure concepts, you will not have separately create and insert separately. But here we have in this tree, we have create operation and insert operation separately. There is a major difference between those things. What is that is, create will create an empty tree itself, and destroy will destroy all, that is the delete all the elements leaving an empty tree. That is, it does not the structure of the tree itself is not deleted, but the elements are removed. Retrieve, it will search for a tree for a particular element, that is called as a retrieval, that is its finding. Then insert is adding a new element only one element to the tree. The tree exists already, but you are adding a particular element to that particular tree. It's done using the operation insert. And then modify, we have, what is modify? Replacing an element. That is, you have some element, you want to replace it with some other value or some other element. It is done by this modify, that we usually used in this operating system for swapping purpose. And then delete operation. So this destroy will destroy all the elements, delete will delete operation will delete only a particular element in the tree. Then traversal, visiting the elements to do those all these operations. So the traversal can be done in three ways. We will see that in the slide. So traversal, we have no predefined order of visiting. So it can be done in three ways. One is pre-order traversal, in-order traversal, and post-order traversal. So what is pre-order traversal? I have this particular example. So this is the order I usually use to travel. That is, the first the root is visited, then traverse through the leftmost child, and then the right subtree. So like this, if I do, again it should be more specific. You have to concentrate on this. See, traverse the left subtree in pre-order. Again, that left subtree should be traveled in pre-order only. So if you just say take this example here, I have the topmost as root. So first we are visiting the root. So A will be visited, and then traverse through the left subtree. So this is the left subtree here, which is the root B. So it will be traversed next. Then after that, traverse the left subtree in the this one. So to this left B as a root, which is the left tree D. So that will be visited next. After that, we don't have any child. So we will be going for the right, the next step, traverse to the right subtree. B's right subtree is E. So that will be visited. Next, we have visited the left child fully. Then we go for the right child. So here again the C is the root. So that will be visited next. Then after that, its child, left child. So here F, and it doesn't have any child. So it will be moving to the right child. So it will be visiting G. So the order of pre-order traversal is A, B, D, E, C, F, and G. Now in order traversal, this will be following the traversal of the left subtree in order, visiting the root, and then the traversing to the right order. So the right subtree. So when you go for here this is the root. So it will be first traversing to the left subtree. So here we have the one, this is the left subtree of A root, we have B, and here again it has child. So it will be going for the left child of it. So D is the one. So we will be visiting first D, then visiting the root. So who is the root of D? B node. So it will be visiting D, then B, then after that it doesn't have any other root. So it goes for the right child. The next step is traverse to the right subtree. So E I have here. So D, B, E it will be visiting. Then entirely the left child has been visited. Now it will be visiting the root. So it will be visiting the A. Now we have the right child. Here again it goes for, in the right child again it will not visit C first because that is the root. What is the left child of it? E. So F. So this will be visiting F, then C, then G. So the order is D, B, E, A, F, C, and G. The last way of traversal is post-order traversal, where we have the traversal of the left subtree, then the right subtree, and at last we go for visiting the root. So all these name comes only with respect to the root. So post means the root comes at the last, pre means the root comes at the first, and in means the root comes at the middle. So when we go for this post-order traversal, I have this again taken the same example. So what happens? It was first the left subtree should be visited. So here I have A as the root. Now its left child is B, and again its left child is D. So it will be visiting first D, and then what is the next step? Traverse to the right subtree. So what is the right of this? It is E. So D, E will be visited. Then at last the root. So D, E, and B. Now A's left child is fully visited. Now it has to go for the traversing to the right subtree. So it will be going to for this here, which is the left child F, then the right child G, and then the root C. So, it will be visiting D, B, E, F, G and C, and at last the root A. So, this is how it is visiting in the post order. Then we can go for implementation. The next step is how to implement it. So, implementing a tree can be done either using array, which will be as I showed you with the list representation, and using linked list. What are all the applications we have with trees? It is having many applications. I have listed down here 3 applications: decision making, workflow and network routing. So, when we go for decision making, selecting an option from the list of options. So, that is, say for example, whether a person has to vote. So, whether it is eligible for vote, you can just take out the conditions, different options. So, it will be eligible or not, it will be giving the decision has to be taken based on the different options. For that you can represent using the trees. Then workflow, if I have to assign a work to in an organization, then I can use this tree to have the hierarchy and tell which work has to be done by what. So, the workflow can be given very clearly using the tree. Then network routing. So, the nodes can, in the network the nodes can communicate. So, what is the path of that? So, which path has to be chosen? So, all those things you can represent clearly on which node is linked to which node. It can be specified using this network, trees. Then what are all the types of trees we have? So, I have listed out very few types of trees. So, first is the binary tree. So, when we saw an example over here as a tree example, it was having 3 branches. So, 3 children. So, here the binary tree has a very specific condition that it can at most have 2 children. So, more than 2 children, that is, it can have 0, 1 or 2. So, it can have only these 3 options, that is, it can have either 0 child, or it can have there is no child, it can have, or it can have 1 child, or it can have 2 children. Now, when we go for binary search tree, it has the same, it is again a binary tree, but with another one more condition. What is that? All the left nodes will have less value and right nodes will have greater value than the root. So, when you take any node, all the left subtree will have a lesser value and all the right subtree will have a higher value. When you go for AVL tree, it will be having, it is again a binary tree, but with minimum height difference between the left subtree and right subtree at most as 1. That is, I cannot have keep on going for a left child and the right children will be empty, like that we cannot have. So, it has to have the difference between the left child and the right subtree. At most it can have the height difference, that is the level difference, as 1. And then n-ary tree, it is again a special type of binary tree. Actually, binary tree we can have at most of 2 children, but here this n-ary tree can have how many? That is, when I take 3-ary tree, it can have 3 children. So, like that I can have n number of, at most n number of children. Then B tree, it keeps the data sorted, that is, we have the same binary tree, but it keeps the data sorted. Thank you.